Good morning. Hate it when you can see a bit of hair, and it's obviously not mine, but you can see it, but you can't find it. It's a grey old morning today, but it does look much less windy than it has been, so that's good. Oh, so nice sleeping in a bed. Vanley is wonderful, but every so often it's just nice sleeping in a bed. Emma and I were talking, we think this seems to be a pretty good way of doing Vanley road trips. The good news is now we don't actually need to worry about hooking up. We've got enough electric from the solar panel. I should do these vlogs when I have a bit more energy. So we've got enough electric from the solar panel that means we don't need to hook up anymore. So where previously we've done trips like this that we've sort of done, I could do 2 nights wild camping, 1 night in a campsite. That's the word. Thank you, my love. Actually, what we're probably thinking of doing is doing 2 or 3 nights wild camping and then a night in a hotel or a bed and breakfast, so we can actually get a shower and all of that sort of stuff. Oh, I slept so well. Had such a good dinner last night. I think the waitress was a little bit horrified when I asked for. So I had a soft shell crab burger with a side order of ribs. I think she was a little bit horrified that I was getting a side order of ribs, but it was good. Then today we're off to Laphraoig. So we're off to Laphraoig, and then we're going to pop into Lagavulin, and then officially that's us. Oh no, we need to see Caol Ila on the way back. And then we've hit every distillery on the island, which, considering that part of the honeymoon deal was we wouldn't hit every distillery on the island, I feel a little bit bad for, but Emma said there was no way we were never going to, so I shouldn't feel too bad apparently. So Laphraoig, we've got a really nice tour happening there. Lagavulin, we're just going to stop in. Then we're going to go down to the Mull of Oa, which is, there's another wildlife sanctuary down there, apparently, or wildlife reserve. Apparently we might get to see golden eagles, which would be very cool. So I'm really looking forward to that, particularly as it's not looking like it's too windy today, so that looks like it might be a much nicer sort of experience. Yeah, and other than that, we're then getting a ferry back to the mainland, and then we're heading over to Campbelltown. So, right, breakfast, because apparently I need a bit of energy. Struggling a little bit.
our last day on Islay. And having had a bit of a shower, a bit of rain first thing this morning, it's turned out pretty glorious, actually. It's amazing. We had a warehouse tasting, or a warehouse tour and tasting at Laphraoig, so Emma finally got to see all how the malting process works, because Laphraoig has their own malting. That was fantastic. Really recommend that tour. We stopped in briefly to Lagavulin and picked up a bottle there as well. Then we went over to Mull of Oa. We were going to do a big circular walk around past American Monument. It's an RSPB reserve. Take some pictures. Apparently there's golden eagles out there. But we were put off by some big scary coos that we decided was a little bit, they just looked a bit intimidating, a bit threatening. So we decided to retreat. We went to Port Ellen. We had pot noodles or noodle pots on the beach. One of my favourite things about Islay is the fact that everybody waves. Not just for sort of stopping and passing places, but literally just on the road as you're driving. People wave to each other. It's really nice. Just so friendly. So we had pot noodle on the beach, and then back in the car, back in the van, heading towards ferry terminal. We're going to stop in at Caol Ila briefly, or at least go and I want to show Emma Caol Ila because it is quite an amazing sort of location. This is one of the very, very long straight roads on it. There are two very long straight roads which are virtually parallel, and they really are just ridiculously straight. Do you know what? It was an amazing thing. There was some peat lying by the side of the road that obviously didn't have a home, and I just felt it just looked lonely, so I picked some up that I might try putting on the fire pit when we're cooking some food and see whether we can get a nice peaty smoke. Maybe a nice peat smoked chicken or something like that would be nice. Absolutely would never advocate taking anything that wasn't yours, but this just was going spare as far as I could tell. So so we're going to go and get the ferry, and then we're going to go and find somewhere on the Mull of Caol Ila to camp for the night. And yeah, that's about it. It's been a very good day. It's been an amazing time on Islay. We've had absolutely fantastic time. The weather, other than a little bit of showers this morning, that's the only rain we've had. And considering the last time I was in Islay, the tent was getting flattened and it was raining the whole time. I never saw the other side of the bay of Laphraoig Distillery. I didn't realise you could actually see to the other side of it, because we couldn't last time. Seeing the Paps of Jura from basically every point on the island, couldn't do that last time. So it's just been phenomenal. Last time I came here, I was slightly of the opinion that I didn't necessarily need to come back to Islay. I'm really falling in love with the place. It's just, and the whiskey helps, but there's so much more to it than just the whiskey. I think that was the issue partly last time as well, that all we did was the whiskey. Just seeing the variations in landscape, it's been special. It's been really special. Good morning from the Mull of Caol Ila. Got the ferry across last night. It was actually a reasonable ferry crossing. It was a little bit rocky.
Tiny bit.
Yeah, tiny bit rocky, but not too bad. There was one particularly wavy bit in the middle, just as I was eating my Calmac chicken curry. Just before we get on with the day, I said I would show you where the other Sugru-y bits are and some of the other bits and pieces. Can't really easily show you the
hooks right now because I'm sat on the chair where the hooks are, but once I've turned it around, I'll put the B-roll in here. So the hooks have been good, actually. They've been far easier than hanging stuff off the back of the chairs. Insect netting we haven't actually needed to use yet because it's been so windy that no insects will hang around. But what I will do is I'll just, if it's dry later, potentially at some point, I'll pin it on and show you how the insect mesh works. Problem is, I can't tell you whether it works, as in keeps the insects out, because we haven't needed to work that out. But it does really work in terms of how it fixes and shape. And so in theory, it's all good. And it's cost me the grand total of about £20 for the whole set, as opposed to £50 plus per window. In terms of other Sugru bits, underneath the bed, it's where we store our sleeping bag, it's where we store our pillows. There were 4 large screws from where the door has been bolted on. They're very sharp screws, and actually we ended up tearing the sleeping bag very minorly, but on these sharp screws. So I've used Sugru just to be able to cover those over. So Sugru for covering up sharp edges, perfect. The water bottle, where the water bottle sits underneath the sink, it potentially can move and slide slightly. So I've created Sugru barriers just to stop it, hold it in place, stop it from sliding. They've worked absolutely brilliantly. Also used it to be able to glue the temperature control for the heater on, because it wasn't stuck onto the normal panel. So normally it would have been stuck onto the wood panel. Because we had it retrofitted, the easiest place to fit it on was on this the plasticky bit, and it just wasn't going to stick as well with the regular stick, so I used Sugru. So we always have Sugru in here because actually it fixes an amazing number of problems if you need it. So yeah, I'd definitely say that's worth getting. Right, back to the day.